Welcome to Daughters Beyond Incarceration, Unfiltered and Unbothered. I am Oshun Johnson, a DBI girl and a high school senior here in New Orleans. And joining me today is my fellow DBI girl, Kayla Gibson. Today's episode is a little different. There's no outside guests. Today is just the two of us, two daughters, sitting down and telling the truth about what it has been like to grow up with our fathers who have been incarcerated. We both have that story, but our stories do not look the same. And that is kind of the whole point. I am heading into my senior year of high school. I wrote my college personal statement about this. Kayla's dad just came home last month. We are both still figuring out what healing looks like, and we decided to figure some of it out right here on the mic, uncut and unfiltered. For anyone who needs to hear that, they are not alone in it. This is Daughters Beyond Incarceration, unfiltered and unbothered. Let's talk. Good morning, guys. I am Oshun Johnson.
And I am Kayla Gibson.
And today we'll be talking about one of the hardest part about growing up without one of our parents in the home. So we'll be telling our personal stories about us both being impacted by incarceration. And we'll start off with me. And I'll be talking about how it was to not grow up with a father present in the home as a young daughter. I will start off by saying, as now going into my senior year of high school, we're in a year where we start to apply for colleges and stuff. And I kind of wrote my personal statement to Intercollege surrounding this story. So I will kind of be telling y'all this story. It is from a personal base. So growing up without a dad in the home, most people think it would directly affect the child, which it does. But as a young child, we don't really know any better and we don't see the differences. So I can say from the age of 5 to 10, I only seen what affected my mother. And to get into that story, I saw the little things that my mom couldn't do for me that she couldn't do for me without a man to provide and without a father in the home. She had to be the daddy and the mother, and that was hard on both ends, which means she didn't get mental breaks. She didn't have a lot of outings with friends. She didn't have personal space. She couldn't do most of the stuff she wanted to do as she could do now because it was just her. She had to feed two mouths. She had to house two people, including herself. It was a lot on my mother end, and I saw it affected her because it wasn't no hiding it if I was with her 24/7. I can say she did her best, and I can say that it probably still kind of affects her for this day, but in a positive way now. But however, from the age to 10 to 17 that I am now, I could tell you that not growing up with a father has affected me. And it didn't hit me to my teen years because that's when I felt like I needed a dad present most. With all the struggles that my mom did go through, it was things that I couldn't fully understand mentally or hold in my head because I wasn't there yet to understand what she was going through. I just felt like dad was away and mom was here, so mom should do what she have to do while dad is away. Which now that I'm older, it's totally different. In a real life, that's not how life work, and that's not how life go. So from the age of 11, I can say it's where it really hit me. I was in a phase of becoming a preteen and turning into a young adult. It was new things in my life that was happening to me that I couldn't fully understand. This is the stage where hormones hit and different mood swings and stuff like that. So this was the stage where me and my mom was headbutting each other and stuff like that. And it was a very emotional stage from 11 to 13. 11 to 13 was like the worst stages to not have a father because I feel like every little girl deserves a dad there to calm things down and stuff like that.
Okay, so how did it make you feel each time your dad went back to jail?
Um, I used to feel like the world or people was against him when I was younger. I was younger and he kept getting out and going back in. But now that I'm older, I feel like it's low key embarrassing. Like to have a teenage child and you're constantly going back to jail because you can't get your stuff together and you're putting your child in a predicament of not having both parents in her life, even for your other child. It started being embarrassing. Like at a certain age, your mindset and your morals and ethics should change in life. And I feel like some fathers or my father still have that childish mindset of the streets, the drugs, and stuff like that.
Um, every time my father go back to jail, I just feel like I wouldn't. I was just so young, I didn't really understand. So it'll really be like I'm sad or I feel away. But now that I'm a teenager and I'm older, I understand like it's for stupid reasons, and I just feel like you know it's his choice. He knew what he was getting into, so he had to deal with it.
Did you ever blame yourself or wonder if things could have been different?
No, I never blame myself, but I always felt like things could be different because I feel like it's your mind, so you make the decisions on whether you want to do them things. You don't, but no, I never blame myself.
I always felt like I never blamed myself, never. But I did always question, was it because of the way he was brought up? Is it because of our environment, of his surroundings? Or was it just his choice to want to be down and just do the things he did?
What do you wish people understood about having a parent who is incarcerated?
I wish people understood that it's too normalized. It's too many people out here that's my dad is in jail, free my dad, and it's like it's too normalized out here that it's a parent that's not in the home. I also wish people understood like it hurts deep down and it do affect your living situation and your emotions, even if you don't think about it. Like it stays, you'll be like, why you sad, why you crying, and then you realize like you miss your dad, but you can't even do nothing about it.
Yeah, I just wish people will understand like having a dad that's incarcerated really it affects your mom, but not only your mom but you because I feel like every child needs two parents in a household because when it's not one parent, the other parent struggles, or you wouldn't know what the other parent is going through while the other parent is incarcerated.
How has your dad being incarcerated affect your trust with you or with in relationships?
To be honest, it didn't affect me at all. Like, like I don't know, like I just felt as though it was dumb. Like I always felt it was dumb, but it never really affected me. It used to affect me as a kid, but like as a teen, it's like it is what it is. You got to accept it because it ain't nothing you could do once he there.
I feel like, not gonna lie, it did affect my trust within people because if I couldn't trust my father, who can I trust? I mean, my dad would lie to me and say he's getting his stuff together. He won't go back to jail. He's gonna go get a job. He's gonna do right. And then boom, I'm getting a phone call from a jailhouse that you're currently back in jail. I feel like that I couldn't really trust anybody if my own father would sit there and lie to me about his life when it could just be a simple, hey, oh, I'm not ready to get my stuff back together. And I'm being a real father and tell you this. However, it didn't affect myself in relationships because I wouldn't like that's like two different levels of life to me, you know?
What helped you cope during the time that your dad was away?
Um, when I was a child, my mom would kind of like she wouldn't hide it from me. I knew my dad was in jail, but that wouldn't just be my life. Like, hey, I'm a girl and my dad is in jail. Like, no, I lived a regular kid life with my mom. I just didn't have a dad. Like I did all the grandma daughter dates. My mama took me on a lot of mother daughter dates, and I feel like that would help me cope. That I always knew that I had that parent to lean on and to be with. However, in my teenage years, I kind of got numb to it, and that's the sad part about it. It was no coping. It was I have to just walk through this door, and that's sad because you would think as you get older, you know, things changes, but it seemed like that one part of my life just kept being the same. And once you get used to something, like you get numb to it, it's your life. So it wasn't much coping to do with it.
Yeah. Same thing with Ocean. Nothing really helped me cope about it because I always accepted it for what it was. Like growing up, like my dad in jail. Okay, mom telling me your dad back in jail. Or I just got a call from the jail. This or that. Like it ain't really much a person could do. A child, especially a child, could do when your dad is in jail. Ain't like you could call him. Uh, or none of that. So it's like I just accepted it for what it was.
If you could say one thing to your dad about your feelings and the cries that you had that he couldn't see, if you can say it, or if you could describe it in 3 words, what 3 words would you use?
If I could tell my dad, I really just tell him that he missed out. He really missed out on some of the most important times in my life where he could have been there, but he did decisions. I mean, he made decisions where he couldn't be there. But that's about it.
If I could describe it, I'm gonna do 3 words. I would say numb, healing, and forgiveness. I only use numb, healing, and forgiveness because I felt that if I can forgive you, but how many times do you want me to forgive you? I also say healing because it's a lot of healing that a child has to go through with a dad like ours that is constantly disappointing us or letting us down.
Did you have to ever grow up faster because your dad wasn't there?
I don't think I had to grow up faster because my dad wasn't there. I think that I was introduced to a lot of things faster than most kids because of the type of situation my dad was in and the type of person my dad is. Like I learned a lot of things young. I learned street smartness is what they call it, to be street smart at an early age and to know the streets.
Um, I don't think I had to grow up faster or because my dad wasn't here. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Do you ever worry that you will end up making the same mistakes or you'll be in the same predicament as your dad when you get older?
Um, Honestly, no, because his mindset would never be my mindset about doing what he did. I wouldn't do at all.
I say no. I feel like I was also put in a better predicament than my dad. I grew up in a better surrounding than him, and I just don't have the mindset of Jill at all. Like Jill don't cross my mind unless I'm talking about my father. But what does healing look like for you?
Mm, like, what you mean by what does healing look like for me?
So I know that my dad got out of jail last year, I believe. No, he got out in January of this year. So it was January of 2025 when I turned 16. That was his last time going to jail, I believe, of February. And yours got out last May. I'm still healing. Like I feel like my dad have missed all my core birthdays, and for a sweet 16 for a girl, that is a lot. And I didn't have my dad there at all. He wasn't there because of a mistake that he made and things that he chose to do that led to him in jail. Which I am grateful that he's out of jail now, but that kind of hurt. As a little girl, like being at birthdays and my dad wasn't there, I was hurt, but I was like, he's in jail and he's gonna be out one day. But the time that he was out of jail, and then boom, he went back in right before my biggest birthday, and still low key healing about it. Like it's not something that affects my day to day living. It's just something that affects my daughter and father relationship with him.
I wouldn't say that's not really healing because, like I said, I accepted the fact of my dad being incarcerated, like coming home, leaving, coming home, leaving, missing my biggest parades, missing my birthdays, missing things that I would want my daddy to be there for. So it's like I accepted it. Like it ain't really. It's like I wouldn't say I don't care, but I don't care. Um, what are some boundaries you had to set to protect your own peace?
Oh, that was a good question, Kayla. Um, I feel like one of the boundaries that I had to set between me and my father was jail talk or aggressive talkness. Having a street dad is like the whole having a street dad in general is like you don't see feelings or you don't see them like you don't see the emotional side of your father. So I would say my dad had to like when he first got to jail, he was very like I wouldn't say aggressive, but he would talk to me in street language, and that would hurt my feelings because like I'm not used to that. That's one boundary I had to set with my dad, and that took a lot out of him. I know because he's not used to like being a girl dad because he was in jail and not how to talk to a girl in emotions. So it was different. Ever since that's when he first got in jail though. Now he just talks to me nice, soft and calm, like a regular person. So that was one boundary.
Some boundaries I had to set to protect my own peace with my dad is really like like telling me one thing and going back and do another. Like don't tell me you gonna do something and then you go back and do the opposite. Like just don't tell me nothing at all. Cause I feel like that's just breaking a person's heart and just lying for no reason.
Do you ever feel embarrassed to speak about your dad?
Um, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Because when speaking about my father, people will be like, "Well, why your father in jail?" And that'll be the most embarrassing part because I feel like what my father is in jail for is embarrassing, and I just don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, it was embarrassing for me because um I always feel like when you say your dad is in his jail, the first thing kids think about, oh, your dad murdered somebody, or oh, your dad is a killer or something like that. And I knew that wasn't my dad, but it's not like I can like go into these kids' minds and be like, hey, don't think that of Ocean dad, or hey, that's not Ocean's dad, but you can't choose what other people to believe in. So I just used to just sit there and like, hey, if you think my dad is in jail for this, then you believe what you want to believe. But I know what my dad is in jail for. So that was the embarrassing part because like, dang. And another embarrassing thing was like my middle school had daddy daughter dances and stuff like that. Or like family breakfasts and stuff. And even though I had family, I had my mom, I had my aunts, I had my grandmother and stuff like that. Everybody else had a father and I ain't have no father. So that was one thing that was embarrassing to me as a little girl.
What some strengths have you developed because of what you have been through with your father?
My identity and like know who I am fully at 17. Like it's a lot of kids that like go through identity crisis and stuff like that, don't know how they want to dress and stuff like that. I would just say like know the type of father I had, the type of mother I grew up with, like I know exactly who I am and what I'm gonna be and stuff like that. If you could write your bringing up in your own eyes, if you had to write how you was brought up in life, how would that look?
Um, I wouldn't say it looked like a sad story because I don't think it would. But I think it'll really just tell people like how having a parent that's incarcerated affects you in a lot of ways, like feeling like sometimes you could feel like your dad don't love you. You could feel alone, or you could even feel like you don't have nobody sometimes. But it was just to show people that having a parent that's incarcerated isn't easy, because they got some kids that have parents that's incarcerated may feel as though, oh, it's easy. So if my dad just, it's easy. But like having a parent and not having a parent, it's two different things. So some people may feel a way, and some other people may feel a different way.
I feel like I wouldn't rewrite my story. I would leave it as it did. But I also feel that if I had the choice to pick between this story and another story, I wouldn't pick this one at all. But we're coming to the end of our talk with y'all between me and Kayla. And we hope that every young girl that's out there that's dealing with an incarcerated father know that it's okay to speak on it, and it's okay to have your feelings and your differences. It's okay to cry and let your feelings out. This is a very emotional level in life that I feel like a lot of kids don't know about. It is very emotional. How you feel?
I feel like, well, I don't feel like it's emotional, but for other people, they may feel like it's emotional. But for me, I don't, because I accepted it. And this is a wrap on our conversation. Me and Ocean came in here not really knowing how deep we were gonna go, but we went there anyway. If you are a young girl out there dealing with a father who is incarcerated or who keeps going back, we want you to know that it's okay to speak on it. It is okay to feel embarrassed sometimes. It is okay to feel numb. It is okay to still be healing, even when you thought you were done. If I had the choice to pick a different story, I would, but this is my story, and this is exactly what this podcast is built for. Subscribe to the Others Beyond Incarceration Unfiltered and Unbothered on Spotify. New episodes every month, and if this episode meant something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I am Kayla Gibson. Thank you for listening.